Honorable Men Discord. Rapper Max B disrespects a legend. Let's talk about it.
How you see yourself is how you perceived. I see a man strong, gifted, head strapping, never down on his knees, begging. Gotta make a way, even in my darkest hour. Say the odds against me was new. I would never cower.
As always, welcome back to another episode. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend and tell a friend I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, before I even get into it, let's go Knicks. Yes, let's go Knicks. The Knicks swept the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 4-game sweep, and they are heading to the NBA Finals. I would be remiss if I did not mention that before starting this episode. I'm proud of what the Knicks are doing, and let's see who they're going to end up, playing against. We don't know as of yet because the Spurs and the OKC are still going at it, but let's go Knicks. So let's just get into this. So a few days ago, Max B was in an interview with $1 million worth of game with Wallo and Gilly. And Wallo actually was the reason why Max B is in this debacle that he's in. Wallo asked him about or mentioned Big Daddy Kane, and that's what led to this whole Max B bashing a legend. Now, Max B, I have a video queued up where he actually doubles down on it. So it's not as though he backed away from what he said. He kind of doubled down. And then I have Fat Joe and LL speaking on legends and their contribution. Now, LL's statement, his comment, wasn't directly at Max B, but I can only assume that having heard what Max B said in the interview, LL Cool J had something to say. But again, it wasn't directed towards Max B, but it was more directed towards the relevance of what those before Max B's time did in contribution to the culture. So let's get into what I have queued up. This is what set it all off, and this is from the interview, again, with $1 million worth of game, and this is Max B's response. Let's get into it.
And they've been running since they started. They ain't stopped running.
Who, Kane?
Big Daddy Kane.
Where Kane at? I ain't see Kane. The last time you saw Big Daddy Kane.
Come on, man, don't do that.
Yeah, Big Daddy Kane. What the f?
This is a legend. This is a legend.
Kane was nice. He ain't had no big hits.
No,
though.
stop that shit now,
He
man.
had nice joints. Ain't no half step in.
No.
The third album and went on Playboy with Madonna and had a thong on.
man.
What you talking about? After the third album, he started bugging out. Went on the cover of Playboy with Madonna and had a thong on, which was out.
Kane ain't had no phone. Don't do that.
He did. Pull the cover up with Madonna. Pull that shit up.
Big Daddy Kane, a thong.
Pull that shit up.
Oh, you gonna do that to Kane?
This was before that shit. This was before my time. Don't you do that shit.
Because Kane and them.
All right. So now after that, Fat Joe had something to say to Max B.
B, you know I stood by your side no matter what. You came home and showed you love, opened the platform, got nothing but love for you. Serious love. Can't disrespect Big Daddy Kane, can't go against the legends. Can't do that. Can't downplay the man's contribution to hip-hop. Can't do that. And Max B, I fuck with you. Seriously. Max B, my man. Don't get it fucked up. But he's non-cypher God. Can't disrespect Big Daddy Kane or none of the legends. What we can't do is get the light, get the shine and disrespect the legends, which is something that's intolerable. It's intolerable, and I'm surprised because Max B's a really good guy. He should take that one back. If there's one you take back, you take that one back.
Some of these artists might had 2-year run.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them had a 1-year run.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them had 3-year run.
What is a run? Because Kane and them been running since they started. They ain't stopped running.
Who, Kane?
Big Daddy Kane.
Where Kane at? I ain't see Kane. The last time you saw Big Daddy Kane.
Come on, man, don't do that shit.
Nigga, I just did 18 years like you. I ain't see Kane.
Listen. They're playing it over again from the top. And I know I'm laughing, but you got to respect the legends, because without the legends, without the DJs that started it all, without the breakdancers, graffiti artists, this culture would not have existed. But it is funny, and to see French Montana's face laughing And Gilly is hilarious. Gilly falling off the couch, that did it for me. I mean, but it's disrespectful that Max B is saying that. And let's be clear, Max B, you're not considered young. You're not young. You're not considered young. And Big Daddy Kane, yes, he's much older than Max B. But Max B, you're not considered young either. So there's going to be the younger generation who speak about you like, who's this old head that just came out? I don't like his music. The thing is with music, and the thing is particularly in hip-hop culture, and you could correct me if you think I'm wrong, I'll see you in the comment section, but the respect for those before that paved the way is not there. We live in an era, honestly, I would say, not even just in music, outside of music, it's what have you done lately? No one wants to hear about the fact that you used to make hits. The only exception to the rule would be like an icon like Michael Jackson. The respect for Michael Jackson from generations and generations is still there. Even those that never even experienced him when he was alive, it's still there. But those are the exception to the rules. You know, Michael Jordan, they still respect Michael Jordan because one, Michael Jordan's still living, and the legend of what he did on the court is still out there. People talk about it. His sneakers are still out there. He's still dropping sneakers over and over again in rotation, and so his legacy is cemented, and it's people are still reminded of his legacy through his brand. But again, when you talk Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, those are the exceptions to the rule. You got Mike Tyson, who's still respected, but they represent the 1%ers. Overall, people, when they look at the older generation in rap music, they could care less about what you did in rap. And if I'm wrong, let me know I'm wrong and prove me wrong in saying that. The respect is not there. And Max B being an older statesman talking about Big Daddy Kane like that is crazy. Because trust me, Max B, there are the younger generation that are looking at you like, who is this guy? And why should we care about his music now? He's already old. Why should we care about his music? That's just the way the nature of the industry is at this present time. I don't agree with it, but that's where it is. And then there's been those that will say, like, those in rock and roll, in metal, they don't have that level of disrespect from their fans. Their fans seem to respect the older rock bands and things of that nature. But when it comes to hip-hop and rap music, that's not the case. If you're not relevant right now, right this second, people look at you like, oh, why are you dropping music? You're washed up. You're an old head. You're unk. So on and so forth. But here's Max B doubling down on what he said in the interview with $1 Million Worth of Game.
You my nigga too. Cause I was a young boy. It was about 11, 10 when you came out. You was that nigga to that third album. You let me down when I saw it. That's not wavy, baby. Sexual chocolate. I'm on your ass. Ah! Kane, you my nigga too. Cause I was a young boy.
So that was Max B doubling down. And then finally, I'm going to end with LL Cool J speaking on that.
When hip-hop first started, there were no managers. There were no accountants that believed in it. Record companies didn't even believe in it. Nobody believed in it. How can you make a 5-year plan or a 10-year plan on something that doesn't even exist yet, that people have never even heard of? So just because a couple of these guys and girls and people out here made songs and made music and made contributions to this culture, or even dancers danced and made these contributions go, just because they didn't get rich, just because they weren't able to pile up millions or billions of dollars, does not mean that they didn't make a contribution to this culture. That does not mean that they didn't do something. They created an industry that we all ate off of. They created an industry that you eat off of. When hip-hop first started.
And again, LL Cool J saying that, I don't believe it was specifically directed to Max B, but I think it's coincidental that it came out around the time of Max B said what he said. Now, here's the thing. Unfortunately, again, this is the way this generation operates. It's what have you done lately? what success, what they rate success based on material things. So the younger generation, they could care less about whether or not you were a pioneer. It's like, all right, well, what do you have to show for it? You see, Nas being a pioneer, Jay-Z being a pioneer, one of the pioneers, they're respected because not only, well, in the case of Nas, well, still recently has been putting out music. As late as last year, he put out the Light Years album, the premiere. Nas and Jay-Z are still relevant because you hear about them. Whether you hear about them for good reasons or negative reasons, that's not the case. They're still relevant because their name is still ringing within the culture. Not to mention the younger generation, and again, outside of music, what matters now is, well, let me see the success you have. They don't want to just hear someone that's older speaking about the past. They also want to, they mainly want to hear about your success. I really don't think they care about the history of hip-hop. And we can say that's a problem. Is it going to change? I don't think it's going to change. They don't care about the history of hip-hop. They want to know who has the money, who's got the bag. Because hip-hop is all about, well, as of late, it's about money and guns and gangs. Right? That's all that sums up hip-hop, at least what's being pushed out in the forefront. But without losing track, Nas, Jay-Z, they're still somewhat respected. And it's somewhat respected because there's a generation that doesn't even care about what Nas is putting out, regardless of the fact that, you know, he's expanded. He just recently opened up a casino. He opened up a restaurant in Manhattan, you know, and all the other things that Nas has got going on. Same thing with Jay-Z. Jay-Z dropped 2 recent interviews, and for that reason, he maintains his relevance. Plus, he's going to be performing in Yankee Stadium. But for the most part, the reason why they're respected is because the money that they accumulated. This generation, and you can see also by Max B's age and the generation he represents, it's all about relevance in terms of, are you doing shows, are you making money? If you're not doing shows making money, they look at you like you're washed up. Forget about what you contributed in the past. That's how they're looking at it. And I don't agree with it, but it is what it is. What's your thoughts on what Max B had to say? Do you think he's wrong? Do you think, you know, he has the right to feel the way he feels? Obviously, he's a grown man. He can say what he wants to say, but I think he could have took it light on Big Daddy Kane. Because I'll say this much: Big Daddy Kane at his height, I don't ever remember Max B being on a level of Big Daddy Kane. And Big Daddy Kane represented the era before social media. Max B had his wave, pun intended, but I don't think you could say that Max B was respected more than Big Daddy Kane was respected at his time. That's my thoughts on it. But what's your thoughts? As always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I drop episodes daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as always, stay honorable.